Welcome to Everything Football and welcome to another Champions League update video. In this one, we are going to be doing the first Matchday 3 wildcard draft. I'm saying the first because there could be a lot of changes. I'm recording this right after Matchday 2 and Matchday 3 is only after almost 3 weeks later. So there will be a lot of changes and there's an international break in between. So there could be a lot that could happen in between. There are injuries, suspensions. We could find out more information about players. But I have come up with 11 players. 15 players that could fit in our teams, and also obviously doing this video early can help you make your decisions early and get to know what you can think about, which players you want, which players to avoid, because when you're playing a wildcard during an international break you might end up making changes every single day. So that's why I'm doing this one early. Usually when you play a wildcard, or when you think you're going to play a wildcard or limitless, you're like, you know what, fine, this is really good, I can finally have whichever player I want, I can finally have all the big boys, I can get in Benzema when he's fit, I can also have Salah, I can finally get Trent Alexander-Arnold because he has a good fixture, or should I get Lewandowski from Barcelona? You start thinking about all these players and it's actually a good thing. But when you start making the team after you've pressed the button for your wildcard or your limitless chip, you're like, oh, especially the wildcard more than the limitless chip, you're like, oh no, I want this striker, but I also want this striker, and I also want this striker, but I also, what about this one from Napoli? And this guy's performed well, but it's too expensive. Should I be getting this one? It's crazy. You start getting stressed and thinking about a lot of things. But let me finally get to watch the wildcard draft, the first wildcard draft I have. This could change. I might do a second one right before the match day, or maybe a week before the match day, and then you can update it. So let us get started. Let me know which ones you agree with and which ones you disagree with. So first of all, the first player we are definitely going to get in the team is from Manchester City. Let's start with the forwards. Manchester City, Erling Haaland. Now, he has already scored in both games in the Champions League this season against Sevilla and against Dortmund. He was close to blanking against Dortmund, but I would have put my trust in him to score. This is one of those assets that you definitely know is going to return. You're obviously going to captain him. You're okay with captaining him. He's one of those players that you can really trust. So Erling Haaland up against Copenhagen, 2 games against Copenhagen, matchday 3 and matchday 4. Really, really good fixtures. You don't have to think about taking him out for matchday 4. You don't even have to think about taking him out until Man City gets eliminated. He'll always score, he'll always deliver. So Erling Haaland is the first player I have put in the team for Manchester City. So I have gone the triple up for a couple of teams that have the best fixtures. I will also do a video for fixtures, but I will come to that in a different day. At Man City, once again, let's go to the defenders from Manchester City. Joao Cancelo. As I said, Joao Cancelo is a must-own for everyone. This guy is always going to deliver. Even when they don't keep a clean sheet, he still picks up 6 points. So he's a really, really good asset to have. And Copenhagen twice, very, very good fixtures. Now, the first day, the match day 3, we don't get to see City's team news, but I think he'll definitely be there. Match day 4, we definitely get to see City's team news. So I was thinking about getting in one of their midfielders. As you can see, by the way, Haaland and Cancelo have risen in price. That's one thing we need to check out as well. So if you want a couple of players like Cancelo and Haaland and you didn't have them, you need to get them in right now, because prices could change once again later, or matchday 3, matchday 4. So you definitely need to get them in as quickly as possible. So 2 Man City players, 82.3 million left. Now, I was thinking about getting Man City midfield on this wildcard draft, but I've tried every single different way, and it's basically impossible. You'll have to remove a couple of Bayern players to fit in a Man City player, and not only that, there's also the thing of rotation. Since Copenhagen is kind of the easier draw for them, or easier game for them in the group, especially the home game in matchday 3, he might decide, you know what, let me rest a couple of the important players. Let me give Alvarez a chance. Let me play Gomez. Let me play this one or that one, and not play the big boys. Or you start with Ford and then he doesn't start. That would be a bummer, because you definitely need those players to play against those teams. So who is the next player who's definitely guaranteed to play apart from Cancelo and Haaland? That is what I was thinking about, and it's probably a defensive player. Midfielder, anyone can be rotated. It could be Mahrez, it could be Grealish, it literally could be anyone who can be rotated. So who's the next player who will definitely start? So I was thinking about Ederson, but I've gone for a different goalkeeper, because I also need a defensive defender from that team. And Ruben Diaz has been rested for match day 2. I think he'll start in match day 3. I don't think he'll be rested again. He's risen in price, but I have gone for him, and he's also a threat, not only in terms of keeping clean sheets, he can also score goals and chip in with assists. He's already done that in the Premier League and the Champions League this season. So I've gone for Ruben Diaz at 5.6 million. So I think they'll keep 2 clean sheets in those 2 games, and if worse comes to worse, like at least they'll keep 1 clean sheet, if not 2. So I've gone for Diaz and Cancelo, and as well as I said earlier, these defenders do not have to be clean sheets. Like Cancelo can score, he can assist, Diaz can score, he can assist. So there's recovery points as well for Cancelo. So even if they don't keep a clean sheet, you could easily see Cancelo with 9 points, Diaz 7 points. That could happen. So those are the 2 options I've gone for in defense for Man City, and also Erling Haaland. So that is Man City done. Next up, the players we need to get are from Bayern Munich. They have the easiest game of the season so far, Pilsen at home and then away from home. Pilsen, the first game, conceded 5 goals against Barcelona. Second game, conceded 2 goals against Inter Milan. Did not score a goal in that one at all, and picked up a red card. Discipline all over the place as well. So I think for Bayern Munich, first of all, you need to get Leroy Sané there before going any further. 9.1 is already risen in price. 23 points already so far in the 2 games. That is how clinical he is. That is how explosive he is. It's just like Haaland. I like my players being explosive, like fantasy players, FPL players, UCL fantasy players who you're guaranteed are going to score, going to assist, play 80 minutes, all that. So I have gone for Leroy Sané. I think that is an easy, very, very easy pick. And I've also gone for Kimmich, 6.6 million. Now he's taking corners, he's taking free kicks. He's already picked up an assist in the first game for Sané. He can pick up recovery points. So literally from a player like Kimmich, you're looking at the list. He can also pick up a clean sheet point and buy and keep a clean sheet. The minimal you're looking at from Kimmich is at least 6 points minimum. That's why I like players like Kimmich in midfield. Last season I had him from match day 1 because he was a defender who was playing in midfield. This season he has been moved up to midfield, but he still has the same threat. Set pieces, he assisted in match day 1 and 2, actually both of them. Remember, he assisted Hernandez in match day 2 and Sané in match day 1. So a midfielder who can assist every day, recovery points, can score sometimes, set pieces, definitely love him. So Kimmich is in the team as well. Now it doesn't end there. We also need a third Bayern Munich player, mostly a defender. If Lewandowski was still at Bayern, he would have been the first player on this list. But we have to go for a Bayern. We have to go for a Bayern defender. So who is the best Bayern defender? I've looked at Lucas Hernandez. I've looked at Alphonso Davies. Alphonso Davies already picked up 11 points for recovery points, but Hernandez scored and is also cheaper, and since the prices have already risen, you might have problems to go to Alphonso Davies. But if you actually have the 0.4 extra, you can go for Davies if you want, because he goes forward a lot. I can see him getting an assist in one of those games. So Lucas Hernandez is there. I think Bayern Munich will probably keep 2 clean sheets in that game, in those games against Pilsen. The Pilsen might score when they go to Pilsen, but they looked very toothless against Inter Milan. So Sané, Kimmich, Hernandez, Cancelo, Diaz, Haaland. So we've completed the triple up on Man City and Bayern Munich because of the easy fixtures in match day 3 and 4. Now, next up, there's also another team that I think will do very well, have a very good fixture coming up, and that is Liverpool. Now, they weren't great in match day 1. They were terrible in match day 1 against Napoli. Picked it up in match day 2, beat Ajax. I think they had like 20 plus shots. And Rangers, the team that is playing Liverpool, Rangers conceded 4 goals away to Ajax, and they conceded 3 goals at home to Napoli. 7 goals conceded in 2 games, and even before that they conceded 4 goals against Celtic in their league. So that is like 12 goals conceded in the last 4 games. So for me, I think you have to go for a Liverpool attacker in this one, and you could go for Salah if you're playing a Limitless. I think Salah should be there. I will do a Limitless video later on. I think for now, Luis Diaz goes in at 9 million. So that is the Liverpool player that I have in there. I was thinking about their defenders, but Rangers could easily score because Liverpool haven't been great so far defensively this season. And also, if you get a Liverpool defender, we have a bit of trouble getting in the other defenders I have on the list. So Luis Diaz is there for now. Let's go to the goalkeepers. We cannot play without goalkeepers, obviously. And the first goalkeeper I have picked is Adan from Sporting. That is a goalkeeper I've had in my own team since match day 1. He's kept a clean sheet in both games, got 8 points in match day 2. Very, very good. I think 6 saves or something really nice. And he's already played Tottenham, and he's already gone away to, was it Frankfurt? So the next game they have in that group is a very, very good game. So Sporting, Adan up against Marseille, home and away. Marseille have been great in terms of scoring this season. They haven't scored so far in the Champions League, 2 games, 0 goals. So, and if at home, I would expect Marseille to take a few shots. So Adan has a great chance of having a couple of save points as well. So at 4.5, I think is a great option. So he is the goalkeeper who's playing on the first day. We also have to look for goalkeepers playing on the second day. And since we are going to have a lot of trouble getting Real Madrid players into this team, I think Courtois is the option to go for at 6 million as the goalkeeper in case they keep a clean sheet. If they do, I would expect Shakhtar to take a couple of shots in that match. So that kind of helps him in terms of picking up more than 6 points if they keep a clean sheet or 4 save points. So I have gone for Courtois. The other thing I was thinking of is maybe dropping Courtois, putting Ederson in, and then removing Diaz and putting Carvajal. You can go for either way. You can drop Courtois, go for Ederson, or drop Diaz, go for Carvajal. But the reason I've gone for this one is because of that reason. Now, Ederson, the most he'll pick up for you is 6 points against Copenhagen, because I wouldn't even expect Copenhagen to have more than 2 shots in that game. But for Real Madrid against Shakhtar have very good attacking players like Modric. They could easily have 4 or 5 shots in that game, and Courtois can pick up save points. Hope that one makes sense. Next up, I have gone for, let's talk about another defender. So this season, Sevilla, they've not scored a goal in the Champions League so far. They left the home game against Man City 0 goals, and against Copenhagen 0. The match ended 0-0, and so they're not a quite attacking threat, a bad attacking threat. And in their league, in the La Liga, in the first 3 games they scored 3 goals. They didn't score any in the 4th game against Barcelona, and in the 5th game they've scored 6 goals this season in the La Liga, and 3 of them came in 1 game. So the others, they aren't really scoring more than 1 goal. So when they score, it's just 1 goal. And the player that I have in mind from Dortmund, a player who can attack, Guerrero. First match day 1, anyone who had him, they know how good he was. It's only going to cost you 4.7. It's gone up by 0.2. So Rafael Guerrero is the player I have gone for up against Sevilla. I think they could easily keep 1 clean sheet in any of those games. So Guerrero is my option. And next up, let's talk about another striker. Let's go for PSG. I think you have to have a PSG player. Not as many as 3 as we had against Maccabi Haifa, but I think Mbappe has to be in your team. Right now, it's currently owned by 42%. He's always going to score. He's always going to assist. He's always going to get chances. Like, if you don't have Mbappe, the number of chances I saw him getting against Maccabi Haifa, you're going to have trouble, like just watching a PSG game if you don't have him in your side, because it's a massive threat. So Mbappe is in my team. So far we have 11 players out of 15, only 20.6 million remaining. So you have to get the cheaper players in, and there's no better cheaper player right now than Kudus of Ajax playing against Napoli. So since match day 1, I've said this group is going to have a lot of goals, a lot of 3-3s, 4-3s, and that is exactly what you've had in match day 1. Napoli beating Liverpool by 4-1, 5 goals in that game. Ajax beating Rangers by 4-0, 4 goals in that game. The match day 2, Liverpool beating Ajax by 2-1, 3 goals in that game, and Napoli beating Rangers 3-0, 3 goals in that game. So we haven't had a game with less than 3 goals, and I'm expecting that to continue. I can see Liverpool scoring like 3-1 against Rangers, and Ajax Napoli could easily be 2-2 or something like that. So Kudus is a very good option. 5.2, playing way ahead. He's delivered in both games already so far. In match day 2, he had 7 points against Liverpool. He scored at Anfield, and in match day 1, he got a goal, an assist, and player of the match against Rangers. So there's no better option than this on 5.2. So you've just heard what I said about that group, and I think we'll go for the other player from Napoli. There's a couple of options, but since Zielinski has missed the penalty, I don't know if he's still going to be on penalties. I know he's not delivered that much so far. Kvaratskhelia, but I think when he starts scoring, he'll definitely deliver. They've looked so good in the Champions League so far. 7 goals in 2 games. He was subbed off in the first game. Second game, unlucky not to get any returns. He actually helped with the penalty, the penalty that they won, but obviously it was handball, so he didn't really get an assist, but it came from his shot. So he definitely is a very good option at 5.5, and I don't think he'll end the group stage without scoring. When he starts scoring, everyone has his day. Zielinski had match day 1, someone else had match day 2. I'm hoping Kvaratskhelia has match day 3 or 4. So that is the midfield complete: Sane, Kimmich, Diaz, Kudus, and Kvaratskhelia. Hope you understand the reasons and everything why I've gone for that one. And then defensively, I have gone for another Ajax player, but in fact, let me go to the next striker, because for the defender, I have like a couple of options that you can go for. So striker, I have gone for the striker from Club Brugge. They're looking very good. 2 wins out of 2. Who would have thought? I have their defender Measure. He's picked up 17 points in 2 games. Really proud of that. But Jagla is looking very good. 5.5 million. He allows you to have other players in midfield and defenders and stuff like that. So Jagla up against Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid are conceding goals. They conceded twice against Leverkusen. They conceded against FC Porto as well. FC Porto were down to 10 men at the time they scored against Atletico Madrid, so they're not that great defensively right now. So we'll only have 4.4 million to use in defense. So you can either go for this Measure guy of Club Brugge. He plays as a left wing back and he pushes forward a lot, or you can even go for this Michele guy at 14 points so far this season as well, or you can go for an Ajax player, Bassi up against Napoli. Now I think they'll concede, so you might not want to go for that option, but 4.1 million, you can go for either him or Club Brugge. But I was trying to avoid not to have 2 or 3 Club Brugge players, even though they've done well so far this season. So this is the first wildcard team that I have, the first draft that I have. So in goal, Adan and Courtois. So in terms of fixtures, Adan playing against Marseille, Courtois against Shakhtar, Cancelo, Diaz and Haaland against Copenhagen at home, Hernandez, Kimmich and Sane against Pilsen at home, Diaz against Rangers, Kudus and Kvaratskhelia against each other, Ajax against Napoli, passes in that game as well, Guerrero against Sevilla, Jagla against Atletico Madrid, Mbappe up against Benfica, and also Haaland up against Copenhagen, as mentioned earlier. So there's a couple of other ways you can go. You might decide to go without Mbappe and go for Neymar, save 1 million, use that 1 million elsewhere. You can decide to do that. You might decide you want a Liverpool defender like Matip and not Basie. So with this squad, you only have 0.3 remaining in the bank, so you can decide to take out Mbappe, put in Neymar, and then remove Basie and put in someone like a Van Dijk or a Matip is cheaper in that squad. Or you might decide to upgrade someone like a Kvaratskhelia to someone like a Zielinski. You can take out Mbappe and bring in Neymar. That is fine as well. It's literally up to you, but that is what I have. In terms of dates, the goalkeepers 4th and 5th, we'll have the Bayern Munich players playing on the 4th. That is totally fine. The Liverpool player playing on the 4th, same with Ajax and Napoli. And then on the 5th, you'll have Cancelo, Diaz, Haaland, Mbappe, and all those guys. So I think it's a good balance in terms of captaincy. You can captain any of the Bayern Munich players on the first day, mostly Sane. On the second day, you can definitely captain Haaland up against Copenhagen. So that is the first wildcard draft. You'll have 0.3 remaining on this one. I'm probably going to play my wildcard, but I haven't pressed the button yet. Let me know what you think of this team. Which changes would you make? I have thought there's a couple of problems with this team. As you can see, there's no Man City midfielder, but I've given you the reasons earlier. And number 2, as you can see, there's no Real Madrid attacker up against Shakhtar. So that could be a kind of way you can go for, or you can just decide to go different. But the problem is, if you try to include someone like a Vinicius, you'll have to change a couple of players in the team. You'll have to switch a lot of things in the side. So that is what I have as of now. Let us see what happens during the international break. There will be updates every single day in terms of limitless fixtures, transfer lists, transfer tips, all that. A lot to come up during the international break. So as of now, in case you didn't take a look at the video talking about the best time to play a limitless in your wildcard chip, click on the video on screen and I'll catch up with you on the next one.